Morning, Jarvis. Go ahead and send me my queued messages and balance and daily briefing, and go ahead and check my email. Let me know if there's anything I need from there. Thanks. What happened to the crypto trading? It was up $15 yesterday, and now we're back down to 300. What happened there? What if the Library of Alexandria never burned? What if the Library of Alexandria was never destroyed? Imagine a world where every scroll survived, the complete works of Aristotle, not just the 30 that made it to us, but the 150 he actually wrote, the lost plays of Sophocles, Egyptian medical texts that date back 3,000 years, the Phoenician alphabet's original design documents. We lost 90% of ancient literature when the library burned, more than just books, a roadmap to where we could have been. The Library of Alexandria wasn't a single building. It was a complex called the Museion, attached to the royal palace. Think of it as the world's first university. It had lecture halls, botanical gardens, an observatory, a zoo, and hundreds of scholars on salary. The goal? Collect every book in the known world. Ships entering Alexandria's harbor were searched for scrolls. If you had one they didn't have, they copied it and kept the original. The library paid a massive security deposit in gold for the originals. At its peak, estimates range from 40,000 to 400,000 scrolls. That included Eratosthenes, who calculated the Earth's circumference to within 1% of accuracy. In 240 BC, he knew the Earth was round and roughly how big it was. That knowledge was lost for 1,400 years until Columbus. Hero of Alexandria built a working steam engine in 60 AD. Not a toy, a device that used steam pressure to open temple doors automatically. He also built the first vending machine, the first automated puppet theater, and something that looked a lot like a primitive odometer. Hypatia, the library's last known scholar, advanced mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. She invented the astrolabe and the hydrometer. She was murdered by a Christian mob in 415 AD. The library had maps of the entire known world, including coastlines of Africa that suggested it could be circumnavigated, knowledge that would have saved Portuguese explorers 1,600 years of trial and error. Here's what we know we lost but can't recover. The complete works of Livy. He wrote 142 books about Roman history. Only 35 survived. The lost books of Aristotle's Poetics. His section on comedy is completely gone. Everything we know about ancient comedy came from one lost book. The Phoenician histories of San Cunyathon, which supposedly trace civilization back to before the Great Flood. Only fragments quoted by other authors survive. Egyptian surgical papyri showing brain surgery, dental work, and cataract operation. The Edwin Smith papyrus, which survived because it was in a different city, shows surgery techniques we didn't rediscover until the 18th century. If the library had survived, the implications are massive. First, the Dark Ages may never have happened. Roman engineering knowledge would have been preserved, aqueduct construction, concrete formulas, road building, all of it written down. When Rome fell in 476 AD, the knowledge could have been copied by Byzantine scholars and inherited directly, instead of being rediscovered 1,000 years later. Second, colonization would have happened 500 years earlier. With Eratosthenes' maps and calculations showing the Earth was small enough to cross, voyagers would have attempted the Atlantic crossing in 500 AD instead of 1492. The Norse would have met a Mediterranean vessel somewhere in the North Atlantic. Third, steam power. Hero's Eleopile would have been seen as more than a curiosity. If a Byzantine engineer in 500 AD read Hero's manuscripts and scaled his design using better Roman metallurgy, the Industrial Revolution could have started in Constantinople. Fourth, medicine. Egyptian surgical texts paired with Greek anatomical knowledge could have led to germ theory 1,000 years early. The Antonine Plague of 165 AD and the Black Death of 1347 would have had different outcomes if sanitation protocols were written down and understood.